It's gonna be a lovely day.
Lovely day, 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 lovely day.
When the day that lies ahead of me, it seems impossible to face. Yes, when someone is standing, always seems to know the way. But oh, then one look at you, and I know the world is alright with me, yes. Just one look at you, and I know it's going to be a lovely day.
Lovely day, 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 lovely day.
Storm cloud, come circle me again. Dark, steady rain on my horizon. I have weathered you before, I will weather you again. Stronger than ever known, never alone. Stronger than ever mind. Look how I've grown. Lifted in every endeavor, stronger than ever. Yeah. No teardrop, no howling winter wind could ever throw me off my journey. I will walk without a fear, past the wolf at my front door. Stronger than ever known, never alone. Stronger than ever mine. Look how I've grown. Lifted in every endeavor. When I look back on
Hello, hello, hello. Give it up for the New Thought Messengers, my friends. The best band in the business. Hello and welcome. My name is Reverend Shelley Walker, and my pronouns are she, her, and what a day to be in community this day. What a day to remember that this day and this place and these people are things that love has made, and it's so good to be in community. I want to start our service a little bit differently today by moving over to our flower arrangement. Do you see this beautiful plant? This is a climbing tropical plant that is absolutely gorgeous, and it is in honor of the Reverend Shannon O'Hurley's birthday, which is today. Happy birthday, Reverend Shannon. We all send your big love. Listen, she is on a personal retreat today, and we wanted to send her the love today. So I'm going to invite you to turn and look at Shayla, look at the camera, wave to everyone who's joining us online today, and just send a birthday blessing to Reverend Shannon as she is on retreat this day. Happy birthday, my friend, and hello to everyone joining us online. If you are new or newish, I want to let you know that you have stepped into an inclusive, progressive, and compassionate spiritual community that honors you, your life, and your path to the divine. We welcome all people, and there's lots of information on our website, newthoughtcsl.org, about who we are, what we do, and why we do it. And for those of you who are here in person, there's a welcome table right outside these doors. Stop by. You can ask any questions that you might have. Just know the welcome here, the love here, it is for real. And we are so glad that you have joined us today. This is the time in our service where we take a moment and honor that we are on the ancestral land of the Kalapuya people, and that we affirm Indigenous history, experiences, and sovereignty. For those of you joining us online today, if you would like to join in our spiritual practice in a few minutes, this would be a great time to grab a candle and something to light it with. We'll be lighting our candle here in a moment. Let's talk about who we are, what we do, and why we do it by speaking with one voice, our vision and our mission statement. Our vision. Recognizing our oneness, we envision a world that works for everyone and all creation. And our mission, providing spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. Oh, it's a good day to provide spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. I want to thank our online host today, the wonderful practitioner Annette Nelson. She will be interacting with the chat, putting important links that you might want to have into the chat box. So thank you, practitioner Annette, for all you're doing for our online community this day. And I'm going to invite practitioner Barbara Buckingham Hayes to give us an opening blessing. Thank you, Barbara.
Good morning. I invite each one of us to either close our eyes, cast them down, just allow ourselves to receive a slow, nourishing breath into that center where there is only one here. How good it is to come together in community. How good it is to remember that we are here for each other. What I know to be true is that this space, this place, is filled with the spirit of love, of light, of joy, of truth and abundance, that we are here to remember who we are, that our true nature is this love. We are here to give and receive love in whatever ways we are called to. And so I know that this time together is blessed. I know we are blessed by the beauty of the music, the song, the dance. We're blessed by those who warmly welcome us and those who bring hospitality and those who care for children. It's all part of this amazing co-creation. So I know our time is blessed. I know that Reverend Shelley's message speaks to each one of us in a beautiful way, and that together we are uplifted so that we may go out, go forth in that vibration of common unity and love. For all of this and so much more, I simply give thanks and know all is blessed, and so it is. So this is our time in our service where we get to put words to music in our prayer and meditation. So if you're at home, you can get your candle out and light it. And those of us, we can stand here as we are able to join our voices together, our hearts together.
My body, my soul are part of a perfect whole. My heart and my hands are serving a sacred plan. I know that it's true when all that I am comes down to you. I know that it's true. I know that I can rely on you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, all I give to you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, all I give to you. My thoughts and my mind belong to eternal time. My words and my song, you're writing them all along. I know that it's true when all that I am comes down to you. I know that it's true. I know that I can rely on you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, all I give to you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, all I give to you. So completely I surrender to the love of the highest power. So completely I remember all the love of my soul's creator. So completely I surrender to the will of the highest power. So completely all that I am, all that I am, all that I am, all I give to you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, all I give to you. All that I am, all that I am, all I give to you. All that I am, all that I am, all I give to you. And so it is.
Good morning. Today's sacred reading is called Clearing by Reverend Martha Postlethwaite. Do not try to save the world or do anything grandiose. Instead, create a clearing in the dense forest of your life and wait there patiently until the song that is your life falls into your own cupped hands and you recognize and greet it. Only then will you know how to give yourself to this world so worthy of rescue. And so it is.
Thank you, Christoph. Now, please give a warm welcome back from Italy, Daniel Schweitzer.
Americano. See the moon roll across the stars. See the seasons turn like a heart. Your father's days are lost to you. This is your time here to do what you will do. Your life is now, your life is now, your life is now. In this undiscovered moment, lift your head up above the crowd. We could shake this world if you would only show us how. Your life is now. Would you teach your children to tell the truth? Would you take the high road if you could choose? Do you believe you're a victim of a great compromise? 'Cause I believe you change your mind and you change our lives. Your life is now, your life is now, your life is now. In this undiscovered moment, lift your head up above the crowd. We could shake this world if you would only show us how. Your life is now. Would you teach your children to tell the truth? This is your time here to do what you will do. Your life is now, your life is now, your life is now. In this undiscovered moment, lift your head up above the crowd. We could shake this world if you would only show us how. Your life is now.
Welcome home, Daniel Schweitzer. Welcome home. As you are able, raise one hand. 5 frogs sit on a log. One decides to jump. How many frogs are left on the log? 5. Frogs are still on the log because deciding to do something and doing something are 2 completely different things. This was brought home to me forcibly this week because I didn't know that was going to get such a big effect from y'all. That's really interesting to me. Some of us don't like to be wrong. It's okay. It's all right. This idea that decision and action are 2 different things was brought home forcibly to me this week because there's a new healing modality that I have been intending to try, that I had decided to use for myself for months. I have been intending to reach out to a practitioner of this new healing modality. And guess what decisioning did in my life? Nothing. Not a darn thing. And this week I finally reached out, I made that appointment, and I kid you not, the minute I put pen to paper and wrote that in my calendar, things started to shift in my life, in my mind, in my thinking, in my energy, and in my body. It fascinated me. I have often heard that when you take 1 step towards your good, the universe takes 100 steps towards you, right? This was really brought home to me. The difference between deciding to do something and commitment changes everything, everything. Commitment coupled with action changes lives. Today we're going to look at this through the lens of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. The high holy days of Judaism are upon us, and we're going to talk about what they teach us about one powerful action that we can take to change our lives and the world, and that is forgiveness. So we've had a lot of fun this month while we participate in and learn about Solidarity September and how standing in truth, for truth, with each other in the world helps make the world a better place. Some of you sent in photos of how you stand in solidarity. And if you are in person today, I love these so much. If you're in person today, step by the art installation downstairs where Mary has started to put some photos up. Look at that. Angel gave blood for the first time to the doggy blood donation clinic. Isn't that amazing? And I love, well, we'll talk about it later. Stop by downstairs if you're in person and check out the art installation and keep sending these photos in. We'll keep adding them to the bulletin board down there. What fascinates me is how many unique and marvelous ways there are to stand in solidarity. Some people were standing in groups, some people were standing alone. Is Bethany here? Did I see Bethany? Are you? Bethany sent in a picture of her visiting a congregant who passed a couple of years ago, and just opening that picture yesterday and seeing Viola's face just was a gift. It was a gift. So this month we've explored solidarity from the spiritual lens. The first Sunday in September, we learned that the act of standing in solidarity is actually a spiritual practice, and that it is the sign of a mature soul. The following week, Reverend Shannon taught us the importance of saying the loving thing out loud, and I know that resonated with a lot of us. And she taught us how to speak truth to power in ways both large and small. Last week, she taught us about how we can actually stand in solidarity with ourselves, with our own souls, by honoring our needs, and how that contributes to peace in the world. Well, today we round out Solidarity September with a deep dive into one of the most important celebrations of the Jewish year, which starts with Rosh Hashanah and ends 10 days later with Yom Kippur, and we're right in the middle of that celebration. So Rosh Hashanah is the Jewish New Year. It literally means head of the year, and it is It's the great reset button, y'all. It's a reminder that time is a gift and that we can always begin again. Yom Kippur, which happens 10 days later, is the Day of Atonement. And it's a day of fasting and prayer and reconciliation with the divine and with each other. From a New Thought perspective, these are not only the holy days of one religious tradition, this is actually a template of transformation that we can use in our lives, because atonement at its heart is at one-ment. And isn't that what we're all about? Oneness and the presence of love everywhere present. And so atonement can be considered a return to conscious oneness with the divine, with ourselves, with each other. And the simple action that we can take to turn ourselves back to the consciousness of oneness that we're going to explore today is forgiveness. So let's talk about what atonement is and what it isn't. New Thought doesn't teach a God out there who has to be appeased. We're not attempting to atone for our sins. And that is where we take a different road from Judaism and Christianity. We teach God as the presence of love, the life within us and around us, never condemning, always calling us home. We're not punished for our mistakes as much as we're punished by the consequences of our mistakes and by the separation, that story of separation that we rehearse in our minds. But there isn't a God out there trying to punish us that we need to appease. So atonement isn't about earning favor. It's about cultivating a healing awareness, and forgiveness is the instrument of this cultivation. I want to be really clear up front. Forgiveness isn't pretending that harm didn't happen. It's not passive, and it is not cheap grace. Forgiveness is a disciplined choice to release the inner contract that we have held to re-feel the wound, and instead to let Spirit repattern our energy and our lives with love. Forgiveness is a commitment that we make to ourselves. So we start with Rosh Hashanah, which was last Monday. On Rosh Hashanah, the shofar is blown. The shofar is a ram's horn. You see it here, and certain prayers are said. It's really beautiful. You can go on YouTube and hear the shofar and hear the prayers in Hebrew that are said and sung. And the sound of the shofar is meant to awaken the soul. That's why we do it on the new year. It is to awaken us. You can think of it like your inner alarm clock saying, wake up, pay attention, begin again. When we carry grievances, the sound of the shofar reminds us that we are at choice. Forgiveness is the most practical begin again that I know. When you forgive, what you're actually doing is you're reclaiming executive function from the rehearsal of the grievance. You're saying, my peace is my power. The reset isn't just for comfort, although it does bring us comfort, but it returns us to our creative agency so that our choices can bless the world. This is freedom, my friends. We can practice in a small way right now. If you're willing, just place a hand on your heart. And on the next in-breath, breathe in, I awaken to love. Breathe out, I release what burdens me. I awaken to love. I release what burdens me. That, my friends, is forgiveness in one breath. To awaken to love and to release the burden. So Rosh Hashanah calls us to awaken the parts of ourselves that are calling for healing, and then to gently widen that lens to see our world with compassion. In today's world, the shofar might sound like the cries for justice that we hear in the streets. It might sound like the voices of those demanding freedom, of claiming equity and recognition. And every single one of these calls acts as a spiritual alarm clock. Wake up, pay attention. We've got to begin again. So the 10 days, so that's Rosh Hashanah, the wake-up call. And then the 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are called the days of awe. The days of awe. And this is a time when we're invited into taking our own spiritual inventory. Dun, dun, dun. We ask ourselves, where have my thoughts or words or actions missed the mark? And we acknowledge that without judgment, just noticing, where have I missed the mark? We ask, where am I withholding love from myself? We ask, where am I rehearsing a resentment against someone else? And importantly, we ask, where have I been closed to repair? Where have I been closed in relationships to repairing? Where have I been closed in consciousness to repair? And once we have awakened to the places in us that are calling for healing, again, we just gently widen that lens and we look at the places in the world that are calling for healing. And we do what they call in the 12-step traditions, they call it taking a courageous moral inventory. Standing in solidarity sometimes means taking the time to listen. And that helps us to take a courageous moral inventory. Sometimes standing in solidarity means aligning with spirit so that we can take that next right action from a place of love. These 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are a sacred time of reflection, time to take that courageous inventory. Again, no need to judge. There's no call for judgment here. It's a noticing and a questioning of what is mine to do here. So Rosh Hashanah, the days of awe, which we are currently in the middle of, and then it ends, the beautiful high holy days end on Yom Kippur. So Yom Kippur literally means Day of Atonement. And on Yom Kippur, we recover or we reconcile what's been fractured. And the way to do that, the way to come back in alignment with our truth, with love within, the way to come back in alignment with each other is through forgiveness. We make amends where necessary. We create a space for atonement where that's appropriate and safe. And we offer forgiveness everywhere it shows up for us, everywhere. Forgiveness is like, think of the parched ground receiving rain. Forgiveness is like the softening rain. It doesn't excuse what happened. It doesn't mean that consequences for what happened aren't going to happen in the world, but it creates a soil, it creates an atmosphere where repair can take root. This is what forgiveness does in our atonement work. Archbishop Desmond Tutu said, "Forgiveness says you are given another chance to make a new beginning." Now, remember earlier we said forgiveness is an internal activity. Forgiveness is about us. Forgiveness is a chance for you to make a new beginning. It is freedom and power right placed in your life. Listen, we know that God's love never left us. Forgiveness just clears away the fog so that we can feel that love again and act from it towards ourselves, towards others, and towards a more equitable world. So remember our 5 frogs. Deciding to forgive is not forgiving. Forgiveness becomes real when you take action, when you move attention and breath and energy and behavior, when you do something different. That is forgiveness. So when we're talking about forgiveness, you can kind of think of it as 3 different arenas. We start with the self-forgiveness, is that inner arena, right? Y'all. So many of us are so much harsher to ourselves than we would ever be to someone else. So self-forgiveness is an incredibly important arena to do our forgiveness work. Here's what I'm going to say. Take a breath. Self-condemnation is not humility. It is a misuse of imagination. Self-condemnation is a misuse of your brilliant imagination. To clear that, you can try an affirmation like, say your own name and say, "Beloved, I forgive you for not knowing what you didn't know. I bless you in your unfolding." Beloved, I forgive you for not knowing what you didn't know. I bless you in your unfolding. When was the last time you took a chance to bless yourself? Yeah. So once we do that really important self-forgiveness work, we can then turn our attention to our forgiveness work with others, with each other. And sometimes, this is you, not me, clearly, let's be clear about this. Sometimes we don't forgive. Okay, this is me sometimes too. Because we confuse forgiveness with condoning. They're not the same. Boundaries and accountability coexist with forgiveness. In fact, they actually empower a true letting go because boundaries and accountability are what provide safety for the work. Here's an affirmation you can try. You could try saying, I keep my boundary and release my bitterness. I keep my boundary and release my bitterness. I choose both wisdom and peace. That's what boundaries and releasing bitterness gives us. Access to our wisdom and our peace. So we forgive ourselves, we forgive others, and then there's this world-level forgiveness. And didn't the world give us some things? Listen, we are being called into a level of world-level forgiveness that I literally have never seen in my lifetime. I was born here in America anyway. I was born after the Vietnam War, I think, or around there. And this world-level forgiveness, I am learning, can be really hard. It can be really hard because when we are looking at the world, sometimes our powerlessness, our feelings of powerlessness, create a story of grievance that we hold on to, and it keeps us from doing our forgiveness work in the world. But there's a couple of things that it's really important you hear now. When we carry less grievance in our personal lives, we have more bandwidth to do our work for a more just, a more equitable, a more loving world, a more kind world. Solidarity becomes the fruit of our forgiveness. And it starts in our personal lives. We're going to talk a little bit more about world forgiveness in a minute, but I want to be really clear about what forgiveness is and what it isn't before we do that, because it's important today. So self-forgiveness, forgiveness with others, world-level forgiveness, but there are some things that sometimes keep us blocked from doing our forgiveness work. The first one is sometimes, and I have heard this from people before, they say, if I forgive, then they'll think it's okay. They'll think that what they did was okay. They'll think what they did to me was okay if I forgive them. And here's what I want to say about that. Forgiveness is an inner release, and it never erases accountability or consequence for others' actions. Consequences are going to happen naturally when we have actions in the world, and forgiveness never is going to stop that from happening. And you forgive and ask for change. That is also forgiveness. Sometimes I hear, I've tried to forgive, but the feeling and the resentment just kept coming back. Oh, yes. Oh, love, yes. That is so normal, and it doesn't say that you've been doing anything wrong. Forgiveness, y'all, is a practice, not an event. When the mind replays the movie of the grievance, y'all know what I'm talking about. You've watched that movie before. When the mind replays the movie of the grievance, we gently bring our attention back to the loving presence of the divine. And we ask, what would love have for my life? What would love do here? I've heard, what if I'm working to forgive someone who isn't safe for me? And this is really important, and I want you to hear this. If you are often in our forgiveness work, in that setting boundary, in that atonement work, in that asking for changed behavior, that work happens in collaboration with another person. It's very healthy for relationships to do it that way, unless you are not safe with that person. If you are not safe to do that work, say you are in a relationship with a narcissist, it can be very unsafe to do that work with the other person because that person might take advantage of your forgiveness, right? It's very important that we have an awareness of this. And in this case, where it's not safe to do that forgiveness work with another, or if the forgiveness work is with someone who is on the other side of the veil, right? We still do our forgiveness work. It is entirely internal because your inner freedom doesn't require contact or reconciliation if those actions aren't safe. Your inner freedom requires you giving up the story of the grievance and letting it be. Sometimes we just have to let it be what it was, and that is freedom. And then the other question that I hear sometimes is, what if I'm just not ready? And I think that's a courageous question, because nobody wants to look at Reverend Shelley and say, I'm not ready to do my work. Guess what? That is a courageous thing to admit, because we all are there sometimes. And you know, I've said it before, one of the most powerful prayers we can pray is, God, help me to be willing to be willing. Even that tiny crack open lets Spirit, it creates a space for Spirit to work in our lives. So if you're not willing to forgive, are you willing to work on being willing? That's enough right now. That's enough. The most important thing to remember is this. We don't have to romanticize harm to be at grace in our own lives. We simply consent to stop carrying the weight of the grievance and let love grow what it will. That means releasing control of what we think it's going to look like. So I'm a big fan of making forgiveness small and daily, not rare and dramatic. I've experienced both. I'm a big fan of the small and daily. Each evening you can just do a quick 60-second check-in. What am I still carrying from the day? What do I need to let go of for my own freedom? And when we make this a daily habit, not only does forgiveness in the large things become easier, but we actually begin to dismantle the armor that we sometimes carry into our daily lives. So let's talk about the big thing. What does this mean when we widen our forgiveness practice to the wider world? And y'all know that this became especially pertinent for us here in Portland, Oregon, this weekend when we were told that our own military was being sent to be used against us in our own home. And it brought to mind the question that many have asked around the world, which is, how do we forgive acts of war? There's a couple of things. One is, it's really important to remember what I said earlier about how forgiveness frees you from reliving the grievance over and over, from carrying the burdens, the burden of the grievance in your life. But it doesn't mean that we don't keep healthy boundaries and continue using our voices for good. It doesn't keep accountability from happening and consequences from happening in the world. We will continue our spirit-led, social-led, our spirit-led, peaceful social action, and we will continue to amplify the voices of leaders working for peace and democracy. And here's why. Because true atonement means standing with those who are excluded until inclusion becomes a reality. It means seeking equity alongside forgiveness. It means practicing solidarity until love is visible in our systems just as it's visible in our souls. We are all working to navigate in a healthy way these sometimes frightening and painful times that we're living through. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel said, "Few are guilty, but all are responsible." Few carry true guilt for the atrocities happening around us, and each of us, every single one of us, is responsible for doing our work to build peace. All of us. After we lay down resentment, sometimes it's easier to hear the call of the shofar of our conscience. We hear it more clearly because with a freer heart, we can hear the struggles of others. We can rise above our own grievance to contribute to a world that works for everyone and all creation. With a freer heart, we can stand with those who struggle. We can speak the loving truth. We can change what we can, and we can support repair where it's needed. I hope you see where forgiveness fuels effective solidarity because it returns us to clarity, to courage, to compassion, and love, both human and divine. So if you feel helpless about the world, begin where your hands can reach. Forgive the small things. Make the amends that you can make. Offer your presence where it matters, and that matters a lot. Support a work of repair that aligns with your gifts and your calling. None of that is small. It is seed work. And when we water those seeds with divine love, it must grow into a powerful harvest of equity and peace in your life and in the world. We begin in forgiveness and we grow in peace. The time to begin again is now. Forgiveness is the doorway. Renewal is the promise, and at-one-ment is the gift that we all receive from it. Forgiveness is our action. It's how we answer the call of the shofar with our lives, and it's how we move from I intend to I did. And isn't that what we want to be able to say? It's how we come home to ourselves and then walk that home into the world. So, beloveds, release the burden and keep the wisdom. Hand the burden over to spirit, source, love, wisdom, creative power, higher self. Release the burden to a power that is greater than you and begin again. And my friends, begin in freedom. Let's pray on these things. I'd like to invite the practitioners to come forward. There's a lot in the room, isn't there? I invite you to take a nice cleansing breath. Yeah. As we talk about that forgiveness, that self-forgiveness, that forgiveness with others, and that world-level forgiveness, how comforting it is to know that there is a God of love that is right here actually doing the work. That we are not alone in the sacred work of forgiveness because there is a presence, a power, a life, a beneficial presence, an infinite power, and a life divine that lives as us, that breathes us. And even as it lives as us, even as it breathes us, it is the expression of everything. For the God I know is personal and transcendent. And this power is so much greater than anything that I think I have, anything that I think I am. And so in this moment, whatever the burden is, we simply turn it over to that power that is greater. And we invite the wisdom of love to have its way in our lives. And so whether the forgiveness is for a small thing or something that feels large, what I know is that that infinite power that is with us and for us, oh, it is so much bigger. And as we do this sacred work of letting go, of stepping into our power, of stepping into our peace, of stepping into our freedom, of stepping into our joy, of stepping into our greatness, oh, all the angels sing, at last, they came home. And so from this place of power, I simply speak a word of gratitude and blessing for all of the places in the world that are exploring this love and this power this day, this force for good on our planet. And I speak a word of release for all of the places in our hearts, in our lives, and in the world, and in our institutions that block this love. Oh, we can let that go and allow this loving energy to move through our lives and move through this world with clarity, with health, and with loving boundaries. This grace is everywhere present, and we celebrate it this day. And we make ourselves available to it with gratitude, with joy, and with a humble, humble love. And in this gratitude, we simply let it be. Blessed, blessed be. And so it is. Blessed be. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I rehearsed that talk so often this week that I lost my voice. This is our time for conscious giving, and I want to thank you for contributing to making all of this happen. None of this would be here without you and the people who came before you. And thank you for creating a place for the people who are coming after you. This is also, we are coming towards the end of our yearly pledge program. And our pledge program is where you tell us what your plan is for the coming months so that we can use that information to build our budgets. Of course, we know plans change, and if your plan changes, that's completely fine. It just gives us some guidelines to know what to do. I actually have someone with me today who would like to share why she has chosen to contribute to this community and to let us know what her pledge is. Sandy, will you come share with us, please? Thank you. Y'all, this is Sandy Brooks. Let's welcome her, please. Thank you.
Thank you. And my name, as you just heard, is Sandy. My pronouns are she, her. I'm often asked why I choose to donate to this spiritual center, and the answer is simple. It's a place that nurtures my soul and aligns perfectly with my core beliefs. This community is loving and inclusive space where everyone is welcome. No matter their background, is a sanctuary where I can truly be myself. The teachings here deeply resonate with my spiritual path and support my journey of living a life of purpose and compassion. This isn't a place only for personal growth. It's a hub for social activism, empowering us to make a real difference in the world. I've been able to take classes that help me dig deep into self-awareness, allowing me to better understand myself and my place in this universe. For me, it's important how information regarding philosophy and spirituality is delivered. I don't care to be preached to. I want to feel like I'm in an ongoing conversation. Our amazing reverends, Shannon and Shelley, our wise, lost my place, our wise practitioners, and our very talented support staff engage in this conversational approach and are constant sources of inspiration. And then there's the joy. I don't just come to the center because of the center itself, its underlying philosophy, and its great Sunday messages. I also come for the joy. I love the music, I love the singing, I love the dancing, and I love the laughter. But perhaps most importantly, this center has given me a connection to a great variety of kind, loving, and vivacious individuals. The friendships and bonds I've formed and continue to form here are a gift I cherish every day. My donations are a way of expressing my gratitude for the spiritual nourishment, for the community, and for a place that feels like home. Thank you.
I echo that sentiment, Sandy. This place feels like home, and if it feels like home to you too, I'd like to invite you into our pledge program. This year, we're asking our regular contributors, those of you who have been contributing for a while, can you increase your gift by 5%? It would really help us to be able to pay down our mortgage and have more programs to offer you, to support you, and to take this work out into the world. If you can't increase by 5%, there's another 5 you could do. Could you invite 5 people? You know the ones that you've been, had that nudge to say, hey, come to the spiritual center with me. Can you invite those 5 people? Maybe that's your 5. But whatever is yours to contribute, know that this is your community. And when you uplift this community, you are not only serving the person on your left and the person on your right, but you are making a commitment to your own spiritual growth, and it changes everything. Writing it down starts to change things in your life. So, these are our pledge programs. We have some at the end of the pews. If you need one, turn this in. You can put it in the basket, or they'll be holding baskets at the door. Online, the pledge program is on our website, newthoughtcsl.org. Just click on the very top. You'll see a beautiful The Abundant Love of Community button. Just click there. And then our wonderful office manager, Carolyn, will take all of your names. She'll add your name to our growing pile here, and we'll have a drawing in a couple of weeks for 3 people will win either a class or a free practitioner session. So please join us as you are called. Let's speak a word of blessing over all of it, shall we? From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is. All right, help me welcome Daniel Schweitzer, y'all.
Can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. It makes me feel so good, I can do most anything. I am loving every living thing. I can see the face of God in paupers and kings. Oh yeah, we're all precious, no one less, no more. We've all got the same treasures in store. That's why I'm loving every living thing. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. It makes me feel so good, I can do most anything. I'm believing in my guiding light. No matter what the context, always turns out right. Oh yeah, just sit right down to how I feel, then take a deep breath and grab the wheel. And I'm believing in my guiding light. Take it away, Adrian. Right on the key. I am rising to a higher place, with the wind in my back and a smile upon my face. Oh yeah, and I'm living my dream a little more each day, and it keeps getting easier to find my way. And so I'm rising to a higher place. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. It makes me feel so good, I can do most anything. Anything. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. Let me hear ya. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. Yeah. It makes me feel so good, I can do most anything. It makes me feel so good, I can do most anything. It makes me feel so good, I can do most anything.
I'm sitting over here and I looked back at everybody, and there were so many smiles and so much movement that was so much more energizing, because you all look like you're having a great time too. Yeah. I have some announcements. Hang in there with me. NTCSL is delighted to invite you to the first annual Petite Retreat with Reverend Shannon on Saturday, October 25th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's a retreat that will be held here at the center in Lake Oswego. It's a chance to step away from daily life and immerse yourself in renewal, connection, and belonging. Rev Shannon has created this retreat especially for this moment in our lives, offering spiritual practices, reflection, and of course, laughter.
shared laughter as we experience the richness of retreat life in a single day. The cost is $125, which includes lunch. Space is limited, so please register at newthoughtcsl.org. If you're here today, you can register in person out here in the foyer, which is across from the welcome table. And then mark your calendars for these important events. New member orientation is held Sunday, October 12th from 12:45 to 1:45 p.m. in person and online. Reverend Shannon, the staff, board, and volunteer team leads will introduce you to many areas of this thriving spiritual community. We'd love to meet you and to answer any questions you have about who we are and our New Thought teaching. Please register on our website or in person today, again, out in the foyer. Our fall certified class Beyond Limits with Rev Shannon begins on Wednesday, October 15th. It's online only, and it's from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. It's the foundational course and a prerequisite for most of our other classes. Register at newthoughtcsl.org or in person today out there. Join Reverend Shannon and Rev Shelley for the next No Kings March on Saturday, October 18th. Bring your signs and wear your NTCSL t-shirts. We'll meet at Voodoo Donuts. And it says will. I'm going to attend my first one, so I'll be there. My first one, yeah. At 11:30, we'll walk together to the waterfront. If you're interested in carpooling, email the office at newthoughtcsl.org. And lastly, today after service, Rev Shelley is facilitating a 2-hour workshop, Freedom in Forgiveness. It's in person and online at 12:45. You know, I was thinking, there's 2 more sentences, but I'm going to interrupt here for a moment. I was thinking as you were talking today, how much many of us may be coming with the religion, the thoughts, the understanding of what forgiveness means, and how that is not what New Thought believes or advocates for. So this is an opportunity to understand that a little bit more, because I find that it's easy to fall back into what I think forgiveness is supposed to look like, and there's more, so much more to it. So that'll be in the community hall. There's a light lunch for those who are going to be attending in the community hall, and then we'll come back here for the workshop. You can register in the foyer and online to receive the Zoom link.
Thank you, Practitioner Terry. Listen, I know we talked a lot about forgiveness today. What we're going to do this afternoon is I'm going to teach you a technique. It's completely different from anything that we talked about today, but it's a tool that you can take and use in your life for things both large and small. So please join us. Also, Beyond Limits is 6 weeks, but it's 5 Wednesday, and then the last one is on a Tuesday night. So make sure you have that marked correctly in your calendars. Hey, I want to thank everyone who is joining us here in person and everyone, our global community, y'all. Right now, we have people with us in Italy, in Colorado, all around Oregon, Nebraska, Mexico, Spain, Germany, California, Washington, and Virginia. Welcome, and thank you for being part of our community. I want to thank practitioner Annette Nelson and for that, and for being our prayer practitioner for our online community after this service. Our welcome team, Billy Keith and Laura Schlafly, will be here in the hallway. And right across from the welcome table, there's a computer set up where you can register for some things, because we have so much good happening. I'm going to invite the practitioners who are going to be available for prayer up to the front. And It is such a gorgeous fall day here in beautiful Lake Oswego, Oregon. We're going to have our prayers outside today. John is going to pray with everyone outside today while we get the sanctuary. Thank you, John. Thank you, Laura. While we get the sanctuary ready for our workshop. All right. Please stand as you're able, y'all. If you have children in the children's ministry, get them. Join us downstairs for some community fellowship time. We'll meet back in here at 12:45 for our workshop. I'd like to invite the practitioners and Sandy, everyone who is part of the service today, please come on up. Thank you. Thank you for your service today. Thank you for being a blessing to us. May you go in the light, as the light, and with the light until we meet again, my friends. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. You are so loved. Sing with us.
I release and I let go.